Let's do this. Hello, welcome to the show. Welcome to Famous Cartoonist Says Things. I'm your host. My name is Arthur Baltazar. Arthur, Art, Artie. Friends call me Artie. People call me Arthur. The family calls me Archie. That is me, Famous Cartoonist. I'm here to talk to you. I'm here to wish you a good morning. I'm here to drink coffee with you. Let's do it. Let's swig for the working man out there. Let's swig for the working woman, for the working people. Let's all take a part of this swig together. Yeah. Welcome to the 1080p version of the show. We are all here together. Today is Tuesday, double Tuesday, I tell you. It's Tuesday. Taco Tuesday? Now there's an idea for breakfast. Breakfast for dinner. Taco Tuesday for dinner. Maybe, right? We will see. We shall see. We will see what the future will bring. That's the only thing that you could predict in the future is what the family will eat for dinner. And my wife has told me that's the worst thing of the day. The worst? It's the biggest decision you have to make. The moment you wake up, you're thinking, what's for dinner? Not that you're hungry right now. Not that, but you will be later. But mostly because you have to feed the masses. You have to feed the people in your home. Swig for the people in your home. Oh, the coffee is beautifully warm, tasty, toasty. Whatever coffee is, that's how the coffee feels today. I hope the quality of this video is pretty good. I upgraded to 1080p. P, perspective, PowerPoint. I don't know what the P stands for. Parameter. I don't know, perspective, but I hope you dig it, and I hope you like this guy right here. No, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. How do I do it? Where is he? Right here. Hope you enjoyed this guy. Drew and Jot is going to share. They're on the show with me today. These are my characters, Drew and Jot. My new book series. Book 1 came out in January. I'm working on book 2. It's coming out sometime, I think, the summer of 2021. Book 2 is called Drew and Jot, Making a Mark. It's about a little paint. It's a little paint glob, a paint blot, if you will, that took over the book. The book has somehow became purple. The book is now purple, and there's paint splotches all over the book. And our heroes, Drew and Jot, and their friend from Dimension X, the fantastic Bombastic, have to battle this threat of purple. And also, there's a lot of time jumping in the book. Time skipping and time jumping has been a theme lately on the morning show here, and in life. Sometimes life, you've got to time jump. But in Drew and Jot, I time jump the characters 3 weeks in advance. There's 3 weeks they go forward and 3 weeks they go behind. It's pretty fun. So it deals with a lot of comic tropes, comic devices that are storytelling. So when you're like as a writer and you write yourself into a hole, How do you get out with it? How do you get out of the hole? Is it where people are writing and the biggest thing is like, oh, it was all a dream. I could wake up the character, it was all a dream. Or you could change the scenes, like meanwhile in Heart of the City, just change the scene. I use that a lot. When I don't know what to do, I leave you with a cliffhanger and say, meanwhile, somewhere else. I take you out of there. Or what I do in this book is 3 weeks later, and it reminds me of the Fantastic Four books where Dr. Doom would fall to his death, and then all of a sudden you see him again. And they're like, wait, we saw you fall into the volcano. And he would say, it's the lava found me indigestible, whatever. And then he'd be back. That was his explanation. So in this one, I write the characters into a corner where they can't get out, kind of like Indiana Jones or James Bond. But then I get them out by saying 3 weeks later, and the character's like, wait a minute, weren't we just fighting this guy? Weren't we just here? Now how do we get here? So it's pretty fun. And that happens for 200 pages. But there's a lot of time jumping. There's a lot of alternate dimensions. There's a lot of alternate Earths, alternate universes they accidentally create. It's pretty fun. I'm having a good time with it. Swig for Drew and Jive. Let's see who's here today on the show. Take a guess. It's Kevin Bixby. Oh yeah, Kevin Bixby. Heck yeah, Famous Cartoonist says things. Yeah, he does. Famous Cartoonist saying a lot of things today. But the weird thing is, I never know what I'm going to say. I come on here not knowing what I'm going to say. And that's kind of the sweet spot of it. It's the sweetness of the show. And when I was writing my original comic books, the Cray Baby Adventures, it was a lot the same way. When I originally started making comics, I didn't have a story in mind. Let's do a swig first, because this is going to be a long story now. When I originally made comics, I didn't have a story in mind. I had characters. They're called the Cray Babies. They're based off of art supplies, like the Cray Pa, Crayola crayons, Cray Pas, Cray Mas, Cray Babies. That's where it came from. Those little chalky little crayon oil sticks. That's what they were. Because we were sitting in class one time, and one of my fellow students, my fellow co-students, said, "Hey, Art." I'm like, "Yeah." So if these are the Cray Pas, where are the Cray Mas? And I said, "They must be with the Cray Babies." And then we all laughed, haha, we chuckled, we shared a moment, and then they called me Cray Baby Art for the rest of the semester. So I started in my final project of that semester. I think it was my freshman year of college. So that would have been 87 I started. 87, and then it goes to 88 the next year, 87, 88 year. So by the end of that semester, on my final project, I drew this Cray Baby mural with all these characters and all these gouache monsters made from the ink. And that's where it all come from. All the characters are based off our supply. So then, that was 4 years of college. So then when I graduated, I wanted to become an artist. An artist in the comic industry, comic book artist, if you will. So I went, mind you, so I went to the portfolio review and proceeded to get my portfolio torn up, shredded. I was told to go back to school, even though I just got my degree. I was told to go back to school and learn how to draw. So one of the editors told me, who was Bob Harris, who I worked with at DC Comics, he said, "Why don't you make your own damn comic? Make your own damn comic." That's what he said. So I went, yeah, I'm going to do that. Yeah, I'm going to go home and make my own damn comic. So I didn't have a story. So I actually started writing the story on the comic book paper. So I just took the paper. I didn't have comic boards. So I would draw the lines. I would draw the borders. I'd measure everything. So I went ahead and just started drawing. So I made up the story as I went along. And the Cray Baby Adventures story starts out with just like Star Wars, where Star Wars starts out in the middle of the story where the bad guys are chasing a little tiny ship, and then they board the ship. Stormtroopers get on there, and Darth Vader shows up. Bum, 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 bum. And that's kind of how I wanted to approach the Cray Baby story. I didn't want to start at the beginning. I didn't want to start at the end. I didn't want to explain anything. I just threw you into a war. So on the first page, the very first splash page, they said, let's get the Cray out of here. There's monsters coming. We're getting slimed. So that was what I thought. But so when I made the story, it was very stream of consciousness. When I made the story, just like this show. So I don't have a plan when I come on the show. I just talk. But I know I have all of these stored ideas and memories in my head that allows me to talk freely. It's never been a Balthazar problem. Swig. Oh, yeah. So, Cray Baby Adventures. I went ahead and made like 10 issues. The first 3 issues, I just recently read them. And they're very weird. They're very strange. They're very innuendo-y. But at the time when I made them, I was 21, 22, 23. It was my very first comic I ever wrote. I wrote it very stream of consciousnessly, and it's a little weird. But if you could get past the first 3 episodes, or the episode 3 or issue 3, it starts taking form. Episode 4, 5, 6, 7, really good, solid story. And by the time you get to the end of it, man, is it good. Like, I really learned how to make comic books by making my own comic book. And it's weird, it's silly, but it's all those things I found funny, like back when I was a young kid. And it's like if it's a lot of, like, I compared it to Wayne's World, had a lot of Wayne's World humor, like, ooh, he's gonna spew, stuff like that. Bodily functions were funny. So anything sticky is funny, you know, just weird stuff. And but it's funny, and if you can get past those first 2 or 3 issues and read the thing, most people survive and love it. And a lot of people give up. They can't get through issue 1 because it's so weird. And but I learned how to make comic books from making the Cray Babies. And if I never did that book, I would never know how to make comic books now. They would still be in my sketchbooks, still be just doodles. But what happened to me back then was I had to leave. I had to go away so I could focus on my comic book. So I would go places, and I stayed with my brother for a little bit on his college campus. I would just be in his apartment, lock myself in his, he would go to school and his roommate would leave, but I would sit on his chair and just draw comics all day. And then I would go camping and bring my paper and draw outside, draw in the tent or draw on the campsites. My Uncle Butch had a campsite. He recently passed. He's with Baby Jesus now, or maybe somewhere else. I don't know where he is. He might be floating between both places. But he was super nice to me, and he told me, if you ever want to camp at my campsite, just put your tent over there, and then I'll know it's somebody I know, because that's where he tells all the family to stay over there. I was going to say all the poor guys, because I was very poor. But he said family stays over there. And then when I would appear, and then I'd peer out on one morning, and then he'd come over and say, hey, who's in there? And I'd say, Uncle Butch, it's me. And he goes, oh, hey, Hardy. So he said, come on, I'm making burgers or whatever it was. So he was real cool. But I was able to bring my artwork and draw. I'd sit in a lawn chair and just draw stuff. So that summer, I was able to go around, you know, different places and draw things. It's like I couldn't draw at home for, I don't know why. Things like when I was home drawing, I would get distracted a lot. And then there's people at your house. And then I just get distracted and I couldn't focus. So I have to go other places to do it. And I'm a little bit like that now, where I write in my sketchbook, but I have to go somewhere to do it. It's different. That's just how I am. Like, I write really well at airports. I write really well at coffee shops. I write really well on the deck. Like, I go outside in the backyard on a patio. Like, we got a deck, a wooden deck. I sit out there. But now it's cold and rainy. It's getting harsh out there. It's a little bit too much to draw. So in the winter, I go places. In the summertime, I sit outside and draw, and it's really fun. But now, in these trying times, you can't go to places, and you could sit outside, but now it's cold. So I got to find a way. I hope my writing does not suffer this winter. It won't suffer. I'll just do what I got to do. Swig for doing what you got to do. Swig for responsibilities. And one more swig for Kevin Bixby. That's what he's saying. Swig for portfolio reviews. I've been told I shouldn't draw comics, but here we are. I've been told that too, man. I've been told that by lots of people. Swig for sticking it out. I've been told that by many people. I've been told that by teachers. Teachers have told me in my last year, why did you get into this? You should change your major. You should be a typesetter or a graphic designer. I'm like, oh man, I cannot do that, man. I don't enjoy that. I admire people who do though, but I can't do it. It's something that I need to draw. You say, I need to draw, damn it. And that's where we're at. That is where I need to be. That is what I need to do. That is what I'm on earth to do. Besides making children and carrying the name and becoming a dad, drawing is the next thing. Like, if I didn't have to draw anymore, just be a dad, that'd be cool too. But actually, before I had my babies, I was really struggling with the art stuff and getting married and having children. It was kind of the next thing that fell in place. It was kind of the thing that fell in place to lead to the next thing. Because when I was dating my girlfriend, she used to be my girlfriend. We're not boyfriend, girlfriend no more. Now she's my wife. But when we were dating, she said she liked that I was doing the comics. It was all self-publishing, was all Patrick the Wolf Boy stuff, Cray Baby stuff. And I'm going to cough now. Excuse me. Swig for the cough. So when we were dating, that magical day where she said, you know, if we get married, you just stay home and figure out how to be a cartoonist, and I'll work and pay all the bills. I'm like, wait a minute. How did that, all of a sudden, that happened? And everything fell into place after that. I figured it out. We got married. We had a big wedding. Family came. We all danced. We ate food, hung out, and then I went home. We went to a few conventions. We did our thing. We drove around. Drove to the East Coast. Went to Motor City Con, Philadelphia Con, Delaware Con. We went all these places. And then came home and tried to figure out how to be a cartoonist. I had enough money in my wallet and in my pocket, whatever, to buy a ticket to go to San Diego. And that was it. Flew to San Diego, went to Artist Alley, met a few editors, and that's where it just started. I met the Disney editor, and that was it. So I figured it out. It's just being aggressive, not overly aggressive. Just draw every day. Even if I never worked for Disney or DC Comics or Dark Horse or any of these companies. They only start with D, by the way. Every company I work for starts with D. DC Comics, Dark Horse, and Disney. There's no M in there yet. There will be. We'll see. But even if I never worked for those companies, I know it that I would still be making comic books, still be making things, because that's just what I have to do. But in the meantime, I learned how to change diapers. I learned how to cook dinner, all that kind of stuff. I learned how to wipe noses, kids. I learned how to give goodnight kisses. That one I always knew. That was natural. I didn't have to learn that. That was just natural. When you pick up a baby. And I guess I'm getting all dad-like because we have this digital frame in our kitchen that it's about this big or so, but it's on the wall, and we plug a little flash drive in it with all the photos, and it constantly plays photos every day for like 15 seconds of photo, but are all the baby ones coming up now. All the baby pictures. And there's like 1,000 pictures on there or 2,000 photos or something. But it's pretty cool. Swig for memories. Memories. Press between the pages of our mind. Memories. Swig. You guys watching me? What's happening? Let's see, Bixby's here. Swig for being a dad, best thing ever. Yeah, swig for all the dads out there. This will be our own Father's Day right now. Swig for the dads. Swig for the moms too. Swig for anybody you're taking care of. Swig for the parents. There you go. Yeah, I like it. It's different. It's like an evolution. It's kind of like when you're younger, you're ready to move out of the parents' house and you're ready to go into a roommate situation with a bunch of dudes so you can go and party on Fridays and Saturdays and you can do all this stuff. And at that time, I did that. But I was also drawing my Cray Baby comics. And then at that time, I was working part-time jobs, well, full-time jobs. But the money I was making from there was paying rent. And then it was trying to pay a printing bill, just like I'm doing now. Like, it never went away. Printing bills just now the same thing, but now I'm printing my own comics now. It's the same thing. But back then, that's the one thing I wish I didn't do. Well, if I would change, I'm glad I did it, but if I changed anything, it would be not moving out of my parents' house so quickly. I moved out, I was 23, and I'm like, I can do this. I want to do it. I had fun doing it, and we got to do what we wanted to do. But as far as the comic book career, it stalled it, and I was real poor. I was eating peanut butter, cream cheese, and ramen noodles, the whole thing. I still eat cream cheese every day, though, with crackers. Sweet for cheese and crackers. Eric Holtgren says, Happy Father's Day, Eric. Sweet for Artie. Good. Thanks, Eric. Sweet for Eric. I'm going through this cup of coffee pretty quickly today, folks. So that's okay. But yesterday we started something. We did something yesterday. At the end of the day, see, yesterday I drew like I think I did ink 2 pages on a show, and then last night I inked another 2.5, almost 3 pages yesterday. After like I did the show, then went out to the post office, then I went to grocery shopping. I bought a whole bunch of food. I bought food for the family, food for the masses, for the people in the house. And I bought food for everybody, cooked dinner. A whole bunch of people came over. And then at night, about 8:30 at night, I was able to go back to draw. So I drew 2 more pages. I inked 2 more pages. And then I was spent. I was burnt. I was done. So I'm like, man, I can't go on anymore. So I walked upstairs and I said, who wants to watch Clone Wars? I do. So we watched Clone Wars. I made myself a beverage, sat down, and we watched 4 episodes of Clone Wars. We started with season 4, episode 1. We watched the first 3 was like a Mon Calamari world. where Admiral Akbar was Captain Akbar, and he was saving the prince with the future king of calamari. Calamar. They call it calamar, but they are calamari. It's weird that they're based off of food. I guess that's okay because I have a character named Gyroman. You will see in a moment. The future, I say. You will see. You will see Gyroman in the future. Today, right on this episode. But they saved calamari. The prince proved that he was worthy of the king. He led them. We knew that was coming, so there's no spoiler. But it was really cool to see Deep Sea Padme and Deep Sea Anakin underwater with the fighting with the Mon Calamari. They had lightsabers underwater, and Kid Fisto was up there, and a bunch of squid head guys and a shark guy. And it reminded me a lot about Gilbert, because I'm writing a shark guy right now. I'm writing a shark guy. Still don't know what his name is. So far his name is Charlie Sharkles, but I don't know if I like that. But hearing the name yesterday of the shark guy on the show sounded like Biff Tannen. And I think his name was like Riff Tannen. Or Tan Rifton or something like that. It was weird. It sounded like Biff Tannen. And I kept wondering if the voice of Biff Tannen was the guy, but I don't think it was. It sounded like the voice, I heard it somewhere on a cartoon. It might be the voice of Martian Manhunter from Justice League, or it might be some. I hear it in my head. I don't know if it's him quite, or it could be I don't know. It could be Darkseid. I don't really. I know I heard the voice before, but when the credits come up on Disney Plus, they come up so quick that the screen gets small, and then it shows Yoda's face with the next episode ready to go. And I couldn't rewind it. I didn't want to mess up. You know, I tried to rewind it, but I couldn't do it because it was already. I need to have it ready. Boom, and pause it. But I missed it. But I could always look it up on the internet. Maybe you guys can know. But if not, no big deal. But I know it was a cool sounding voice for the shark guy. For Biff Tannen or Riff Tannen or Riff Tendar, whatever his name was. But now I know my name, Charlie Sharkles, for my shark guy. Doesn't sound so bad. Because the Star Wars names are weird. They just make them up. Like the original Star Wars names really had a memory to them. Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Princess Leia. You know, they really popped. But Riff Tandar, I don't know. Admiral Akbar, that pops. I think because of the A's. But his name was Captain Akbar yesterday. Swig for Star Wars. But it was good. And then the fourth episode we saw was really good too. It was still going with the same thing, the theme, and it had the Gungans in there and Jar Jar. And Jar Jar is good in the cartoon. He's annoying and crazy and weird in the movies, but in the cartoon he's good. He's not annoying. He's actually fun, and he's silly, but it makes sense in the cartoon. But they had to fight Grievous. And the Gungans took down Grievous, man. They kicked his ass and then nailed him down. Can I say ass? Yeah, I said it. I said it twice now. But they beat him up, and they strapped him down with some energy things. It was really cool. I liked it. I can't wait to watch more Clone Wars, The Clone Wars, because I know that season 7 is the last season with Ahsoka Tano. And I know it parallels with Revenge of the Sith, so I'm looking forward to it. And I've heard that was the best Star Wars to ever Star Wars since Star Wars. But now the Mandalorian took over, and now that's the best Star Wars to ever Star Wars since Star Wars. The real Star Wars. Real Star Wars is Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi. They're all good. They're Star Wars. I enjoy them. But to be good quality up to that level of mythology, even the prequels are good. Like even the sequels, I enjoy the sequels as their own movie. But if you watch them in the order, they don't really gel. They don't make sense. There's nothing. It's like watching Terminator Genesis and Terminator Dark Fate. They're missing stuff. There's stuff that's missing. I watched that too. So I'm just into watching sequel type of things lately, which is cool. I'm digging all of that. Let's see what the good Dr. Ben has to say. Oh, yeah, cream cheese? Yeah, cream cheese is the best. I just bought 4 more packs yesterday. I buy 2 packs. I was drawing on Zoom calls last night. Whoa. That's cool, man. You were drawing on live. Were you drawing for kids? That sounds wonderful. I'm a big admirer of the Kevin Bixby. I like that guy. He's a good man. Kevin Bixby's a good man. He rocks the house. Even he rocks the house on Zoom calls. That's how much he rocks. Sweet for Kevin Bixby again. Sweet for the good doctor. Oh, so good. But right now, it's the time a famous cartoonist says things where we draw things. Let's go. Oh, yeah. We are drawing Gyroman today. This is Gyroman page 8, which means I'm almost done. I looked at this first story, and actually there's 12 pages. So it won't be a 10-pager, it'll be a 12-pager. And then it will go into the vintage. Then it will go into vintage Gyroman. It will show you his first comic book from 1998. But here he is. He's saying, "Farewell, citizen. Hark, the howl of Earth's mightiest protectors." Woof, 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 woof. See, woof, woof, woof. Then he's being chased. The aroma of deliciousness activates their voracious appetites. Indeed. He's getting chased by dogs. And he's good day, guardian beast hounds. See, he talks like Thor a little bit. Because he's from Peterville. So he's our hero. I'm going in. I'm going to start inking him. Going in. Those portfolio review guys, I don't see them doing their own live shows. I don't see them doing this. Where are they? You have to do your own comics. That's the only way you survive. Do your own comics. Because nobody can ever take that away. You could work on all the big characters, which is fun. But there's always a time where things end. Always. Everything has an ending. But if you make your own characters, it only ends when you want it to end. Know what I mean? I think you do. So it's kind of cool. Nothing is over till we say it's over. Was that John Belushi? Yeah, we know what that is, Balthazar. Did we cry when he blew up the Death Star? A little bit. I cried a little bit. We're going to make another Death Star. Just going to be bigger. That's what the fans want. More Death Stars. Another Death Star. That's what we want, right? More Death Stars? Famous Cartoonist says things. That's what we're doing right here. We're drawing things now. I combine my shows. Says things and draws things. It's one adventure unto itself. It's an adventure unto itself. Unto. Is it unto or onto? I've been saying unto. I think Gyroman would say unto itself. True believer. He is a true believer. I'm beginning to know the order of these songs. And today I got a special preview of my son's new song. He played it for me. It was pretty cool. He's back. He's doing more music. But there's no pressure on when it will be finished. But I know that when it is finished, you will hear it here first. On Famous Cartoonist Says Things in the Morning. Because that's what we do here. We do that. I talk like Venom all the time. We do that. I do it. We do it together. Well, you guys are saying things. Let me see. Andrew Clark's here. Hello, Andrew. When are you and the gang doing another big show together? You mean a podcast? A podcast or a convention? Podcast, we're trying to do something for either Wednesday or Saturday. We're trying. But Johnny's real busy doing things. And Franco's real busy doing things. And my schedule changed a lot. So we're all kind of trying to get our schedules down so we could cross over for a moment. Bixby says, oh, shucks, you're making me blush. That's because you're a good man, Bixby. How about an Ewok Jedi? Yeah, that could be possible. Why not? It's a faith. Because the Force is a faith. You have to believe in it. You have to feel it. You have to let it penetrate you. That's what Obi-Wan said. Why do they have to be Death Stars? Why can't they be party stars? Yeah. Why can't they be life stars? Like give you life. Why is it death? Why is it surrounded by death? Dead star. Unto is what King Arthur or medieval Spawn would say. Old-timey language. Yeah. Unto my God. Right. Unto. When I was a kid, we would go to Sears for Christmas to go see Santa Claus. But Sears they wouldn't have Santa Claus, they would have Winnie the Pooh. So you would sit on Winnie the Pooh's lap and you would tell him what you want. And it was weird, but he was Winnie the Pooh. He had the honey pot on his head, but then he had the Christmas outfit on. So so when I went to go see Winnie the Pooh, it was funny because I knew something was up. Little Artie knew. I'm not sure if I'm wasting my time here, if this Winnie the Pooh guy is going to relate my message to Santa Claus. And when he asked me what I wanted, I told Winnie the Pooh, I said, I want the Death Star. And he said, Dead Star? What's a dead star? And I'm like, I'm not getting this thing. So he was a young urban fellow in that costume, now that I recall. But I'm like, oh man, that's not the real Winnie the Pooh. I don't know if he knows Santa at all. But I thought that was funny. Dead star? What's a dead star? Like, oh man, I'm just wasting my time. This guy's not giving me. But somehow he got the message to Santa because I got the dead star. I got the dead star for Christmas. It's true. So I guess he did. He did all right, that Winnie the Pooh. He came through in a pinch for 10-year-old Artie. 10-year-old famous cartoonist, future cartoonist. See if there was a time, if there was a time travel moment, that would have been where Kyle Reese would enter the scene, but just watch me. He goes, okay, make sure he says dead star, because if he doesn't say dead star, we got to get him to say dead star. Dead star. So I was worried, man. I was like, man, I'm not going to get this thing. But I got it, and I played with it, and it brought me years of joy. It made me who I am today. The dead star. It's true. You guys might have heard that story before. This is like the Bill Bixby song. Hear it? He's leaving. I'm getting messages. I will answer messages later, because right now I'm on a show. Because you know what? Conan O'Brien doesn't look at his text on a show. I never saw Ellen DeGeneres do it. Wanda Williams might. She drinks tea on her show. At least I hope it's tea. I hope it's not tea. It's better. You don't always need to stick to the rules. You make your own beverage. Right? Whatever gets you through the day. That's what John Lennon said. Whatever gets you through the night. All right. All right. Yeah. You guys talking? I'm going to look in a moment to see what your comments. Gyroman. I inked some pages yesterday that you guys didn't see how he got his glasses. But I'm not going to spoil it. You have to see this book. It'll be on Comixology soon. So I'm going to force you to download it for 99 cents. See, I did that? But tomorrow is a big day. Because tomorrow, Webster, the Amazing Spider Monkey. Actually, it's just called Webster, the Spider Monkey. Because I didn't want to get sued, so I took the amazing part out. Webster the Spider Monkey, #1, is on Comixology tomorrow. For the very first time in history, the history of our lives, Spider Monkey will have his own comic book. I figure I can't get sued because Spider Monkey's a real thing. It's like saying Webster the alligator. It's a real thing. I didn't create Spider Monkey. It is a thing. So, henceforth, my friends. I don't know what I was gonna say. Henceforth, my friends, Spider Monkey's a real thing, and he's appearing tomorrow. Should be around 9 o'clock, 9 in the morning for you early birds. If you can't wait to read a Spider Monkey comic, it will be active and alive at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, I believe, is the term. Specific time. Specifically Pacific. I'm looking forward to it because it's cool. Because I like to see what they look like in digital. Because Comixology is cool because they take the pages and break them down per panel, and it's really fun to see how they do that. And I'm collecting Spider Monkey. The first 4 issues will be in a collection, and I'm going to have a new cover on the printed comic. It's going to be a shout out to the Ditko, not Ditko, the Ramita covers when he would draw Spider-Man with all the faces of everybody behind him. So it's going to be cool. He's going to be in a web. Maybe. Probably. Just like making comics, man. That was like the part that said, I like making comics, yo. There he is. I gotta add the texture, because he does have texture. He has a textured mustache that is not really a mustache, but it's more like burnt marks. He has meat texture. If meat can have a texture, this is what it looks like. That's him. That's what he looks like. I make myself laugh with these characters. Bark, wolf. All right, we're gonna go in here. Going in. I'm gonna read what you guys are saying. Not a whole lot, but I'm still gonna say it. Kevin Bixby says, what were the names your dad gave you in the Star Wars characters? Yeah, my dad named all the characters wrong. He called me, he told me that Darth Vader's name was Vader Darth, and he said Luke Skywalker's name was Luke Sidewalk. Luke Sidewalk and Vader Darth. And he said that C-3PO's name was Creepio. So I would call the characters that, like, we would see in a movie. You know, I'm 8 years old when I first saw the movie. And so I came home and I was starting to draw the guys, trying to remember how they looked. I was looking for pictures and magazines and comics. And I was asking my dad, what was that guy's name again? And he would say, oh, that's Vader Darth. I'm like, oh. And then this guy, Luke Sidewalk. And so I realized, I didn't know, like my dad telling me these things. And then I didn't realize he was wrong until I saw the movie again. Because at that time, you go like every week, you go see the movie again. We go see Star Wars again? Like, yeah, let's go. So I must have saw the movie about 10 times in the theater. Seems like it. Then when it came to the dollar theaters, man, I was there every Friday. I was watching it. And then they used to have marathons. Empire, Jedi, Star Wars, all 3. And sometimes they would just have the one. They would have Star Wars would play. And then back then they have those 3. You get $1. You pay $1.75 or whatever to get in the movie theater, but you get to see 3 movies. And so the movie theater would play. The first one was always Star Wars, and then the second 2 would change. So every week they would have Star Wars until they didn't. So it would be there for about a month. We'd see it all the time. And then the same thing happened with Empire Strikes Back. It was just there all the time. And then it wasn't. And that happened too with Back to the Future, I think, was there all the time. Ghostbusters. So when they get those blockbuster movies, they keep them there. They keep them there until they're not there. It's true. I'm going to cut and paste this to save on having to write all that again. You cheated, Balthazar. Not really. It's a technique. You don't want to cheat. It's called a technique. I didn't cheat. Let's see what else you guys are saying. That was one question, one answer. That's no moon. That's Andrew Clark. He could be a Martian. He's a good man, that Andrew Clark. That's a space station, my man. Oh, yeah, Bill Bixby. Yeah, we like him. And Dorothy's here. Welcome to the show, Dorothy. Dorothy is, I have the privilege of going to her for haircuts. So she's awesome. She's a wonder with scissors. They're part of an extension of herself, of her being. Dorothy. Shout out to Dorothy. A swig, if you will. Everyone should have somebody to cut their hair. Let's see, there should be some kind of background. Let's draw. You draw like a buildings. Even if you have something in the background, let you know where he is. Know what I mean? To let you know where he is in his relationship with the rest of the characters on the page, with the scenery. So that's what we're doing. Doing it. Doing it. Doing it. Doing it. Yeah. Isn't that a song by Ulkuja? It is, I think. Ulkuja. Why do rap guys always change their names to something that doesn't make sense? Ulkuja? Luda? Chris? But they spell everything wrong too. Fitty? Cent? Ulkuja? One guy, he's an adult man, his still name is Ice-T. Ice Cube. No one knows the guy's name. M and M. N. It's their name forever. Ulkuja. I see stuff like that. We were looking for horror movies to watch over the weekend. Monster movie. I wanted monsters, so we ended up watching Godzilla, and I wanted monsters, like Frankenstein. I wanted some kind of monster, but everything now is like slasher movies, and they're demonic. If there's a monster, he's like demonic possessed, and I don't like that kind. So I came across the movie Scream, which I remember being really entertaining, but I didn't watch it because it wasn't what I wanted to watch. But as I'm looking for Scream, I see Scream 2, Scream 3, Scream 4. But they always put the 3 or the number in the logo. And I remember Scream 4 looking like Screforum. Screforum. That's what the name of that movie is. Screforum. So I kept finding movies like that. I kept finding movies that were named that were weird. Screforum, and there was another one. I forgot what it was. I remember seeing the Exorcist 3 movie poster, and it said Exo 3 Ursus. I remember that. So I'm like, that's weird to me. I see it. And that show Num 3 Urs. It was always a commercial during The Walking Dead. Make sure to stay tuned for Num 3 Urs. Num 3 Urs. I don't understand these things. Why do people do this? Like when I learned that, like when I was making the Cray Baby adventures, people would always read it as Cry Babies. Like, no, they're not crying. Don't you see the big A in the middle of the word Cray? Read it. So I would always find out who's not as intelligent as me. When they say, ooh, Cry Babies. No, they're not crying. Nobody's crying. There is no crying. Stop crying. No fighting. Stop crying. You don't need to cry. Buck up, young soldier. That's what Sarah Connor said. On your feet, soldier. Sarah Connor. Now, there's a character they erased from the movies. She's in it. She doesn't matter. That's the only part that got me upset. Not upset, just like wondering why. Like the new Terminator movie, I keep thinking about it. Like the girl, I get it that they want new people to carry on the franchise. But the urgency of the time traveler in this movie was not as urgent as sending Kyle Reese, specifically Kyle Reese, to be the one who has to go back. So if he doesn't go back, there will not be a John Carter. He will not exist if he does not send Kyle Reese. But this one, Danny, her name was, the only thing that would not exist is her. Like the girl who went back and specifically went back to save Danny. She went back because Danny saved her. And it doesn't seem as big, as worldly as sending Kyle Reese because he holds the key in his DNA. So the end of the world was not as tragic. Like if they lost Danny, there could have been someone else who could lead the charge, possibly. So I don't know. Maybe I gotta watch it again. So I think that augmented cyborg lady was doing it for selfish reasons rather than the benefit of humankind. And Sarah Connor's there to train her. So maybe Sarah's story is still relevant because now she could train Danny instead of John Connor. Maybe. Danny Connor? I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my soul around this movie. But they definitely set up another one. And they killed Arnold again. Maybe they should get like a different guy like Jonathan Statham to be the new guy, Terminator or something like that. But also, to me, the Terminator is becoming less and less of a character and more of a thing that they just gotta learn how to kill. Like the Terminator guy who would melt, the liquid guy from Terminator 2. He seemed like besides Arnold, he seemed like the coolest Terminator where he was an actual character. You saw the determination in his face. And the last guy, they made him a Mexican Terminator, which is fine, because in Genesis we had an Asian fella was the Terminator. So Terminators are getting very diverse, which is very good. But it's weird. I don't know. I like all that. I like the diversity part, but it's weird that he doesn't feel like a character. He just feels like a guy. Maybe that's what I'm looking at. Just feels like a guy. They need to make it like where he's. I guess that's what Terminators are. They're robots, you know. C-3PO was a robot too, though. I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just trying to like improve the movie. The movie was good, but it could have been something that could have blown us away. Or it could have been like, man, that was cool. Did you see that? And it didn't feel as urgent as Genesis felt urgent. I think that movie was probably my favorite Terminator movie. Besides, of course, the original. And the second one was really good. The original one, you can't beat it. But that last one was not as good as any of them. So I don't know. I enjoyed it though. Don't get me wrong. I watched it and I enjoyed it, but I think there was moments it could have been better. They were almost there. It could have been like, wow, did you see that? That was cool what they did here, and they twist ending. They didn't do that. And Arnold should have been. It would have been cool to have. Here's what I thought would have been cool. I was talking about it yesterday. What would have been cool is, I'm gonna ruin the movie right now. I'm gonna spoil it. In the movie, the augmented person who came from the future had coordinates tattooed on her body. And the coordinates, because if you go through the time stream with anything, it would destroy you. You have to be naked. And I always wondered, they can't have fillings, or they can't have anything like a hip replacement. They can't have anything fake because it will hurt you. So when she gets there, she has this coordinates on her, which is really, it's clever. And that leads her to the person who's sending these messages. But the weird part about it was the coordinates led him to Arnold, of course, in the movie. But she has to find the Terminator, okay? So in the movie, I thought it would have been cool, now that I've seen the movie, because all of a sudden Sarah Connor shows up and blows up a truck and says, I'll be back, and it's made for a laugh. Because, oh, Arnold said that. But when she blew up the truck, you're like, Sarah Connor, what's she doing there? And then she doesn't really do anything. She just has the memory of John Connor, because it's a different timeline, but she has the memory of her son being the leader, but now he's not because he got killed anyway. So now that future is different. But it would have been cool if when she went to the coordinates, it would have been cool if she opens the door and then it's revealed to be Sarah Connor is at those coordinates. And the Terminator is there, but Arnold is like, she dismantled him and he's just like a head. And she's controlling him and sending those messages using him. Like, it would have been cool to have her even more deranged than she was in Terminator 2. Like, that's a way to really use her into the story rather than just have her be a badass woman shooting stuff. I mean, that was cool, but it didn't really, she didn't really serve a purpose besides us knowing that that was John Connor's mother. But now that John Connor doesn't exist, she could have led the revolution. And then she could have said, where's Danny? Did you bring Danny? And then she could have filled us in on the story of why Danny was so necessary for the future survival. Because Danny is now going to get trained by Sarah Connor. See, something like that, urgency. But there was not any of that in there. I didn't feel it. See, I should write this. There should be a different way to make Sarah Connor important, because she was in there, but she was just in it. She didn't do anything. Like, none of the characters in the whole movie, none of them did anything that was different than the originals. And that kind of, like, if you're watching a movie just to watch it, you'll enjoy it. But none of them did anything to actually make the story different. Like, Genesis was so good, man, because it took all of the elements that we knew and changed them and flipped them around and made us think. While we're watching the movie, we're thinking of the other movies. And that's kind of what was cool about it. And the new one didn't do that. It reset. And it would have been cool in the movie. I was expecting when they found Arnold for Sarah Connor to see him and say, Pops? Like, that would have been cool. Call him Pops at one point. But she didn't, and that's okay. It's not what they wanted. But they could have done that with her more. She could have been more of a necessity. They need to find her and not have her find them. Like, it could have been where she's in that, cooped up in that cabin for all these years because she's a wanted criminal, No one knows where she is except for the Terminator people from the future. And they find her because somewhere in the future, she operates from that cabin or something. That becomes the base headquarters where Danny takes over. You know, something like that. I don't know. I hope the Terminator people are listening, because that would have been cool. And then that would have set up a whole future storyline for all of it. That would have been really cool. It would have been where now the next movie could take place in that cabin, and it could say 30 years later, 30 years in the future, because somehow Skynet was destroyed, but somehow something else took over. But they never said what it was. Something else took over. Like what? But I guess they said it because there's multiple Arnolds. I guess there's multiple Arnolds floating around now because he kept go back in time. So maybe the Arnold that we saw was the Arnold that killed John Connor. But the way Genesis left, Arnold was all liquid metal-y. He had powers. So it would have been cool to see that. But it wasn't. It wasn't to be had. And now I'm fan fictioning. I'm just fan fictioning now. Which sometimes the fan fiction is better. But in this case, I don't know. See, I wanted something else. But I enjoyed it. There wasn't a moment where I was not unhappy. And I guess it's a good movie because it makes me think. But it wasn't... If that movie came out first without a franchise behind it, I don't think people would care. There, I said it. I'm going to see what you guys are saying. Let's do another squeak for Dorothy. She says, I am the best. You're the best. Stafforers. Yeah, Stafforers. Yeah, that's how it is. Fant for stick. That's the classic. Fant for stick. Scriforum. That was Scream 4. Scriforum. Frank Miller wrote RoboCop 2. There is no good reason why the famous cartoonist Arpalzer can't write Terminator. See, that one works though. Terminator. Right. There should be. I should write it. Just give me a chance. D. Brad is here. Good morning, D. Brad. Grading those papers, mowing the lawns. Get those kids back in class, man. We will do our best in these trying times. For all you teachers out there, there's a swig for you. Swig. From what I hear, that's like the hardest thing to do these days. Do that teaching stuff. It's trying times. My kids are doing that every day, and I see their frustration, and I see them talking to their teachers, and it's real different because now I got teachers emailing everybody. It's just really different. For a little while, I was going to be a teacher. I was going to classes to get my teacher's certificate. I was going to, it's called Governor State University, way in the south side suburbs of Chicago here. But then I got an opportunity to go draw some coloring books, and I left. I already had my bachelor degree. I'm like, man, I want to draw. I don't think I want to do this. I don't think I want to draw. I don't think I want to. I want to see if I could draw, and then we'll see if that doesn't work out. Then I'll go back to teaching. But I never went back. Never went back to school to get the degree. I do have a bachelor degree, but I never got the teaching. But I have taught. I could teach in schools as a sub, or like a private classes and stuff. So it has worked. So I feel your pain, man. I feel it. I feel the pain, man. Yeah, man. Sammy Davis is here again. And by the way, I haven't smelled any cigar smoke in a while. I think I'm okay now. Usually Kirby's here with me. But he checked in and said, no, man, you got this. Just like that song. I got this. Kirby said, I got it. I'm like, thanks, brother. I'm going to give him a little tail. I don't like it. Because I didn't want this to... There you go. Change it up a bit. I got this. You like, you guys like when I talk about Terminator movies? I think it's funny. That's my movie review. My movie review is always, here's what I would have done. Here's how I would have rewrote the movie. Here's what I was expecting. I did that a lot with the new Star Wars movies too. Here's what they should have did. And I wanted in Revenge of the Sith, I wanted so bad to see an adult Boba Fett decapitate or disintegrate Mace Windu, because Darth Vader says no disintegrations, which means he knows that Boba Fett likes to disintegrate. That would have been cool, like if Anakin and Boba Fett hunted down the Jedi together. That's what I was hoping for. And he just has Boba Fett, and all Boba Fett wants to do is get Mace Windu. And it would have been cool if, like, they get Mace Windu, and they're about to get him, and Vader wants to interrogate him. He wants to ask him questions, but then Boba Fett disintegrates him before he could get the questions answered. That's what I wanted, because that would have been cool if in that line when he says no disintegrations. I just wanted that scene, and I wanted that scene even before the movie showed up. I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if that happened? But it didn't. But I can't help it. Like, even before we saw the new one, The Rise of Skywalker, I wanted there to be something where Kylo Ren is struggling with two ghosts in his head, because we knew Palpatine was there. But I wanted the Palpatine ghost, and I wanted Anakin Skywalker ghost, because according to the movies, it's obvious that Kylo Ren does not know that Luke saved Vader. He still thinks Vader's a bad guy. So it would have been cool to see Kylo talking to Anakin's ghost. And that would have been cool to see the struggle between the dark and the light, with the Emperor on one side of him, on one shoulder, and Anakin on the other shoulder, saying that no, you have to do this. And then Luke Skywalker goes talking to Rey. It would have been cool to see, as Rey and Kylo were fighting, Anakin Skywalker, the Emperor, and Luke Skywalker ghosts were also fighting on another plane. And you would see the influence as they're fighting, and the more Kylo struggles, the more he loses to fight with Rey. That would have been a cool part to tie it all together. But they weren't thinking that way. I don't know why they weren't thinking of that. They got the ghost voices in there, but nobody knows who those voices are. You got to go back and listen to guys reviewing it to find out what the voices were. I would have liked to known it while I was watching the movie. You know, I heard a few like Anakin. I heard that guy, and I heard Obi-Wan. But you don't know what's coming, so you just hear voices. So it's real different. You could do it now because now you know there's voices in there to be heard. But it would have been better to know that was a thing, to see it visually. So there's a lot of things that happen in the movie like that I wish that they had people in mind, like fans. You know what we could do to this that would make this the greatest movie of all time? But they don't want to do that, I guess. They don't care about making the greatest movie of all time. They just want to make it a movie of all time. Let's just make it a movie. It doesn't have to be the best. It just needs to be Star Wars because people will come anyway. That's how I'm feeling. They just made it because people will see it anyway. That's not a movie I want. Terminator's barely hanging on. So I think if Terminator showed up again, no one would care. It would not do very well. It would do okay because people would remember it, but not like a blockbuster thing like Star Wars numbers, you know? I don't know. That's what I wanted in Star Wars. But at least the Mandalorian's doing it. It's giving what we want, and it's showing up on Friday. I told the family, and they're like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yes. We are getting Mandalorian. Saving a swig for you guys." Let me see what you guys are saying. I see a lot of things here. D-Brad's on break. Good to see you, D-Brad. Let's see. Bruce Jackstone. Boy, I like that name. Bruce Jackstone from YouTube says, "What's Art's take on recent Looney Tunes stuff, such as Looney Tunes Cartoons 2020 series or new Looney Tunes 2015-2020? I saw some of that. I liked the designs. But there was one where they were roommates with Speedy Gonzalez. It was okay. I enjoyed it. I had nothing weird about it. But it's obvious they can't do the same humor as they did in the 40s because it was very adult. But I enjoyed it. It was okay. I was not cringy or anything like that. I liked the designs a lot, but I didn't see a lot of it. But the ones I saw more of were the new Mickey Mouse cartoons. Those were awesome. I like those new Mickey Mouse ones a lot. But I didn't see Bugs Bunny ones too much to remember them as much. I watched them just to watch them, but it wasn't to. They were good. I remember watching them. I remember liking them, but I remember I didn't really compare them to the old ones. There's nothing compares to the old classic. But it's like Bugs Bunny cartoons like that. They all have a different style. Every style that comes out again is the character, but different. And I saw that with Tom and Jerry. Every time there was a new Tom and Jerry cartoon, it was different than the last one. So that doesn't bother me too much. Because they're still good in their own way. There's something good about them. Like they don't hurt or insult or ruin the character. But they had to tame him down a lot. And he was roommates, or he owned a business with Speedy Gonzalez, I think it was. I forget what it was. But it was a very modern. He was very modern. Like he was doing things that people do. Like he was running a business. Like he used to just be a rabbit. He used to just be a rabbit popping out of the hole, giving guys a rough time. But now he was running a business. He was like a guy. I remember that. But I was okay with that. Look at this dog. The dog is barking. I'm going to give him some teeth. tongue. He looks weird. But he looks like he's a dog who wants to eat a gyro. What are you guys talking about? Maybe Terminator could have streaming show, unlimited series. Yeah, maybe. Didn't they do a TV show with Summer? Her name was Summer because she was in the Big Bang Theory on the train. That's how I know who she is. Summer. And I don't know if she played Sarah Connor or if she played a Terminator. I think she was a Terminator, but it was called The Chronicles or Sarah Connor Chronicles, maybe. I gotta check that out. I don't know if it was any good. Bruce Jackson says, "Oh yes, that's the Looney Tunes show." Yeah, that's the one I saw, where they were they owned a pizza place or taco place or something, or an apartment building. Speedy's pizza place was Pizzeria, was it? That's funny. Pizzeria was the name. Yeah, I remember seeing some of it, but during that times I was involved with kids doing things. 2011, 2014. My kids were that's like 8 years ago, 4 years ago, and they were little. So that's probably I was watching a lot of stuff they do. I was watching all their stuff. Oh, something's happening here. Screen almost went blank. I got a pop-up ad again. Last time I did that, it knocked me out. Yes, it was 2 seasons on Fox of the Terminator. I like to see that. I don't know if that's counted into the continuity of the movies or not. Swing for continuity. I'm not sure because every time a movie comes out and shows up, there's some they make their own continuity. It seems like. I like when the continuity messes up the movies, but still stays within a story. I like that. Like that Genesis, man. It's got to be my favorite one. But you can't have that without the other movies, which that's why it works so well. Because that one works so well because you need the other movies to have that movie. But this new one, you don't really need any of the other movies. You kind of do to familiarize. You need them still. But just as far as like reference. But the other movie, you need it. You need the other movies to make Genesis movie. You cannot make that movie without the other movies. Like it's really good. And the new one is you need reference, but the movies are just there for reference. Oh yeah, I remember Sarah Connor. Oh yeah, I remember Arnold. But they didn't really do anything. I know I talked about this already. See, it makes me think, like why did they think that was good? Like why did they think this will get the people back? This will make all of our Terminator fans will love this. Why? Who thought of that? They won't have a problem with this. And who thought of that with Star Wars? Oh, they won't have a problem with this. Like, why do you think that? I put stuff in my comics all the time that I think people are gonna call me out on, but then I make sure, like Superman stuff is real challenging sometimes. So you can't do things. Certain things you can't do with certain characters, even though you want to. A lot of times they'll say, "Oh, I'll save that for my own book," because it'll get better in a universe where you know that could happen, rather than trying to force it into this one. I don't know. See? It's passion you're seeing. You're hearing the passion part. When they say, go make your own comic. That's why I like the prequel movies. Because George Lucas made the movies he wanted to make. When you think about it that way, he made the movies he wanted to make. Because Star Wars that you see in the prequel movies is Star Wars. He wanted to do that. Those movies are really good. It's the execution that lacks. It's the because when you look at the stories, they're still good. They're good stories. They're good characters. But it's all of the extra stuff that he needed, like an editor and someone to help him. Same with when you watch Superman 4. It's the same thing. The story is good. But the execution. Now that I'm comparing the Star Wars prequels to Superman 4. But the execution is poor. See, you lose it in the execution. That's what becomes unbelievable. But if Star Wars had someone to edit some of those scenes, because it's good. Anakin's turn was good. Dialogue changes, things like that. George had it. George almost there. He's about 80% there. Just need a little tweaks. Like Chupa Chowasa Bulba. I don't know if that needed to be in there. But it was. Chupa Chowasa Bulba. Slammy Dopot Slamo. But it is. It's what we have. Became our destiny. Slammy Dopot Slamo. That's right. We feel you, Anakin. He is a Slammy Dopot Slamo. And if you are a Slamo and you know it, that makes you stronger. He's a Slammy Dopot Slamo. You're so wizard, Annie. That's okay. That's just kids talking. With the vernacular of the time. See? This page is taking longer because I keep talking. Let's see what you guys are saying. Mike. Michael Campo Basso is here. I like these. The one known as Skoke. Alternate timelines. Oh, yeah, man. I'm doing a lot of alternate timelines in my new Drew and Jot book. And that's going to be fun. There's a lot of time jumping and stuff. A lot of going back in time, going forward in time. What art's take on Sonic the Hedgehog related cartoons such as Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic Satan, I don't like that word, or Sonic Boom? I do not have a take because I never ever saw a Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon. I never played the game. I saw people play the game, but I don't know. I'll never watch the movie because it looks hurting. I don't want to see Jim Carrey do that in Sonic. I don't know. Not interested. I don't know if I need him in my life as another thing. But I admire those who like him because he is the Mario, the Sega's Mario. But I like Mario. If they make a Mario movie, that'd be good. A good one. Dr. Ben says, gotta go to a meeting, but I want to hear about you working on a Terminator 8 script. I'll go to theater to watch it. Yeah, man, I would love to write it. I would fix it all. But you can't really fix a time travel movie. You just add to it and convolute it more. Because at the end of every Terminator movie, they cleared the history pretty much. But then it comes back because the machines are inevitable. They are here to take over. They will take over. And it's just a matter of how and when. But yeah, I would do it. I would make everything relevant. I would bring back you don't need to bring back anybody. You just bring back, like, as far as actors. Don't really need to bring them back. Arnold's always a good thing because he's always the first Terminator. You want him back. See, I would make an army of Arnolds. I would do something where the new Terminator has gone back to classic. Like, I like the melty guys, but I don't really, they're not new anymore. They're not exciting. I would go back to an Arnold who's giant, like a tank, like a big guy, and just have him start destroying people. Like, imagine like a Terminator. Imagine Andre the Giant as the Terminator. Like, I would have guys like that, just big guys. And you can't destroy them. It's like trying to destroy the metal that holds a building, that rebarb. Like, have them built out of that, just real big, like the Thing. I would make something like that. And just have them all look like Arnold. Just giant guys. Like, I think that would be cool. Not really, like Arnold's like 6'5", maybe 6'4", but I would do like guys like who are like 7'5", or not quite giants, but like 7 foot tall or 8 foot tall. And you know they're Terminators. Why would you want to disguise? You could be human, but you know you're a Terminator. That would be cool. And then I wouldn't have melty guys anymore. Melty guys are okay. Or have the big guys be melty. I don't know. I liked in the new movie they had the Terminators in the future. They showed them and they were like squids. They had tentacles. Those were cool. Those were new. I would do something like that. The melty guys I'm not a big fan of. They're okay. I like them, but they're not. We've seen them already since Terminator 2. So everyone who comes is still melty, and they can change shape. Let's see what you're saying now. Bruce Jackstone. Any take on any DC comic related cartoons, past or present, such as Justice League, original, or the 2 versions of DC superhero girls? Yeah, I have takes on all of that stuff. I have Superman stories that would make great movies, but I will not tell you what they are, because one day I want to be in that meeting with them. I have an opportunity, and I think it may work. I was on a phone call. How do you call it? Phone tag? I was phone tagging with Jeff Johns for a little while about another Superman movie, but it never came to be. And we were on meetings with him about Shazam. So some of the Shazam elements in the movie are what we discussed at our little meeting. So I don't want to say what my Superman take is, or my Batman, or any of these guys. Aquaman, I have an Aquaman story. I have a, and I'm thinking movie. Like, I could do it in a comic. I could do it. We started doing it in a comic, but I had a pitch for the next Superpowers comic was going to be called Superpowers Trinity. And that, I have a really good story with that I think would make a great movie. And it would reunite the whole league together. And it would be really cool. And it would be really, really personal. Like, personal to the characters. Not me personally, but like real personal story for Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. Real personal, and would get to them, and it would free up a lot of emotion and bring the characters, and you would know why they're in the movie, why they are superheroes. So I think that's what a lot of the movies are missing. The connection to us, to the character on the screen. Like, we connected to Captain America because we saw him go through changes. And when he was in New York City, Times Square, we get it. We were frazzled just like he was. And we get Iron Man's emotion because he was in that cave. And then we get it. We connect to the heroes. Sometimes if you don't connect to the hero, the movie doesn't affect you. You just watch it. If you connect to the hero, like Sarah Connor in the first Terminator movie, when she had that red dot on her face, you're like, no, don't shoot her. And she gets away and she screams. And then the new movie, you don't connect with her. She's just crazy. So you got to connect to the characters somehow. And when you have an emotional connection, like with Christopher Reeve, you felt it. You felt him on the roof with Lois. You felt that he wanted to kiss her. You felt that she wanted to kiss him. You felt that he wanted to just go fly around with her. He smiled at her. He dropped her. He saved her. all of that kind of cool stuff. You felt it, but you don't feel it with a lot of these new ones. They rush to get to the special effects and the CGI backgrounds before anything else, and I have a way to fix that, but I'm saving it. So I do have a take on all of these things. Hopefully people, hopefully this will get out there and people are like, you seeing what this guy's saying? It's pretty cool. So let's see. I am going to continue to draw this page. Let's see. We're going to go with this one. We're going to go light. Should I go thicker? Let's go thick. Thick is good. So I think about movies a lot. Think about stories a lot. Think about characters a lot. I think things need to... things are still good. Like, the Marvel Comics movies finally caught up to what the expectations for a superhero movie is. So when we were kids, I won't even say that, in the 70s and 80s, comic book movies were written by TV guys. Because the movies there, like the Hulk TV show, Captain America, that was all stuff that was written by guys adapting superheroes to the TV screen. And what was happening there was it was written by guys who didn't read comics, who didn't grow up reading the comics. And finally, movies are being written by people who've read the comic books as kids. So Wolverine movie is written by a guy who read Wolverine, X-Men, and so forth. Where the Spider-Man movies are written by guys who grew up reading Spider-Man comics. So now we're at the point where the guys working at Marvel Comics, the Marvel movies, are the guys who read the characters as kids. Especially with the Guardians of the Galaxy and the new ones coming out, the Eternals. So those are guys who read these books. So we're going to see a really cool movie, possibly Galactus, Nihilus, all these characters showing up. But if they tried to do this stuff with guys who never read the comics, it's very difficult. It's like, how are you going to say, here, just read this comic book? It has 40 years of continuity. Just read this graphic novel and you'll understand it. But people don't do that because you could do that with binge watching. Like, say you want to watch all the Terminator movies all together. You could do it. But after a while, even with all the Star Wars movies, you could watch them all back to back to back. But it's not going to feel, you're not going to feel the movie. You're going to feel the binge watching effect of having all this information thrown at you at once. And it's not going to have an effect like story-wise, because part of the story is you see a movie, and you digest it. You see another one, and you digest that. And so what happens with binge watching, it becomes that it feels like you just watched the whole season of Daredevil. And now you know it was good. Well, when people say, what do you think about episode 6? And you're like, which one was that? Like, you don't know because you just binged the whole thing. So that's how it is with, as I was saying, with these new movies. You need nostalgia behind it a little bit. Not nostalgia, you need somebody who knows the characters behind it before you could just tackle it and think you're writing a superhero movie is easy. But the fortunate part we have is that guys writing movies now are guys who grew up reading the comics. That's why the Marvel movies are so good. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's where I went. So I have so many thoughts and ideas for Superman. And it all started from, Superman the movie. And then it started with Man of Steel from John Byrne. So that's all the stuff I read. But imagine, would you rather have a guy who's been thinking about this his whole life write a movie? Or would you rather have a guy who's a screenwriter? Here, adapt this. No. You need a guy who's going to write it really well, but you need the guy who knows every character in the movie. It's true. That's why they needed Rod Serling to punch up the ending to Planet of the Apes, because they knew he's the guy who does that. It's like, man, you've been writing these crazy endings forever. How about doing it for this movie? And he said, of course, no problem. It's true. It's all true, my friends. Every bit of it. Bits. Makes you think there's crumbly pieces. Bits. It's like those crumbs on the kitchen table after everyone's done eating. Those are the bits. You need those. You need those bits. Scoop them up. Put them back in the pie. He's talking about pie again. What's he talking about? I like cheesecake myself. Just talking about cheesecake. Okay, we're going to make this fence. You like the guys like that rant? It's nuts, right? That's stuff I think about all the time. And it's like, I got all these stories in my head, especially all these superhero stories. And when you make your own comic books, you could do those stories. So I made my own superheroes called Powers in Action, my own superhero series. The first volume came out with Action Lab. And I'm working on volume 2. I got all the stories all thumbnailed in my sketchbook. So hopefully after I finish Big Alien Moon Crush, I'm going to start on Powers in Action for Action Lab. But those are all the stories I've always wanted to tell and always wanted to read as a kid when I was reading comics. So that's the cool thing about Powers in Action. It goes really quickly, but the storytelling is crazy because that's all the stuff I wanted to read as a kid. Because I grew up on, like all of us, we grew up on, I grew up with John Byrne and Claremont's X-Men. I read all the X-Men stuff. So these are all the stories that inspire me. X-Men really inspired me. Secret Wars, stuff like that. That was my era. John Byrne, X-Men. John Romita, Spider-Man. Ross Andrew. With Spider-Man and Superman crossover. All of that stuff, man. That's all those comic books I read. And that's where Powers in Action gets a lot of inspiration from. Get my own superheroes. It's true. All right, you guys are still watching. People are watching. I'm still amazed by that. I had a dream last night that I was on the news, but they were interviewing This was an actual dream. They were interviewing people on the internet, and they were saying, and there's this guy who every day just goes on his internet show and talks about what he's doing. And it was weird, but I was dreaming of it, but I was in my old bedroom at my mom and dad's house. It was such a weird, it was weird, such a weird thing. Then I woke up in my own bed and I was kind of happy. Like, oh, good. But I knew I had to get up and talk, say things. Famous cartoonist has to wake up, say things in the morning, and draw some comics. More importantly, draw some comics. And the cool part about drawing comic books while I do the morning show is that I finish a few pages today. So now Gyroman is going to be finished. Well, page 8 will be done. This page is taking a while to do. There's a lot of details. Oh, this is the last panel. I'm almost done. How did that happen? I just felt like it just started, kind of. You guys like the noon hour when I draw? Because it seems like there's a lot of times to choose to go live. But it seems like everyone goes in the afternoon. People do the afternoon and then they overlap other shows. So I didn't want to go on afternoon because a lot of guys go on. Ewok Chips goes on all day. There's a lot of guys who would do the afternoon shows. But I didn't see many people going on in the morning. So I'm like, I'll do that. Plus I feel good. It starts out the day. And I'm the freshest in the morning where I could get as most comics done in the morning because I'm ready to go. I'm a young go-getter. You get that cup of coffee and you can tackle the page that was causing you problems the night before. You wake up in the morning and do the first thing, and it's not so bad. Not so bad. Not so bad at all. Remember that song? I do. I just played it for my kids. My girls were down here. When I see my girls, one of them was my daughter and her friends. All the girls. They were down here yesterday chilling because I have a nice little bench down here like a couch. And I have pillows. And I have throw rugs. It's comfortable down here. It's cool. And they were down there chilling. And then I came down to work. And I started playing music. And they were okay with my music. I was just playing cool songs. Something that, it's just it's just songs. And one of them was that song, that Dido song. I want to thank you, yeah, that song. Give me the best day of my life. That song. Because I can't sing like her, so I'm not going to try. Maybe if you see me karaoke, I could do that. The Hounds. This is a good song. I also downloaded that song, Tom's Diner. That song. They enjoyed that too. And my friends tell me all the time too that there's ways to get free music. But being the artist, being the comiXology guy, I always buy my songs. So I pay for them. I search for the albums and I buy them all. I listen to them. There's another band called the Holmes Brothers, which is really good. It's a group of old guys, but they're like a blues band. They're really good. They sing a few covers, but not many. Like one cover on every song, on every album. But man, are they good. I enjoy those guys a lot. So if you're out there and you want some blues, look up the Holmes Brothers. Holmes with an L. Holmes. But buy their stuff. Don't download it for free. Buy it. It's only $10 an album, but you have it forever. That's how I look at it. And I listen to it multiple times. If you listen to the album once, it costs $10. You listen to it twice, it's $5. And you listen to it 3 times, you know, it gets cheaper. Breakdown per song, 99 cents a song. It's even better. Listen to it 4 times, it's 25 cents. We don't understand that, Balthazar. You're crazy math. It's true. I'm putting in these lines now so I know where the panels go. That's it. I got them all. Now, so look at, here it is. Now we're going to, we are going to, not just me, because there's multiple people here. I am going to put my dots in here. So when I color, because you know, one day in the future here, there will be a show where I color these pages. Gyroman page 8 of issue number 1 is finished. Finished with the inks. Look how clean he is. Farewell, fine citizen. Hark! The howl of Earth's mightiest protectors. Bark, wolf, wolf, bark. The aroma of deliciousness activates their voracious appetites. Indeed. Good day, guardian beast hounds. I'm going to draw some more yips. Some yipping action like this. This is what you call yipping action. Because they are yipping. Yip, yip, yip. See? But he's flying away. But he's still happy. See, he's not afraid. He understands. See, look at. He understands that the guardian beast hounds of this realm. But he is a little alarmed. Let's see, save. I got 4 pages of this chapter. I think I did page 12. So I got page 9, 10, and 11. 3 more to go. And then this one will see colors. And then I will upload it to Comixology. I'm not sure if oh yeah, comics number 14 is up there yet. It's possible. But Gyroman, Webster the Spider Monkey shows up tomorrow. 9 a.m. Pacific time. Let's see, this is page 9. Later at the Gabriel Queen. Oh, I got a letter. It's order up, Melvin. I got to write that. I missed that right there. I missed it. Shake, 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 shaking fries. Hey, Mel, your spatula is glowing. Huh? It glows when evil is near. It's time to answer the call. I like that. Your spatula is glowing. I'm going to finish that at another point in time. That point in time will not be now. Hello. Welcome to Famous Cartoonist Draws Things. Let's see Drew and Jot. It's not them. Something else came up again. Boom, there it is. Drew and John are here. Let's see what you guys are saying. Bruce Jackstone agrees. Everything I told him is the truth. See? He agrees. It's true. But I'm more of an old-fashioned type guy trying to turn my made-up comics digitally. But still. Yeah. I'm doing that too. I'm an old-fashioned guy too. I was around before. Look at this. This is choking. Here it is. How about that? I was around before the internet, and I was around making comic books before digital. And I actually went to school and graduated before there was any computers, before I even used computers, which was cool. So I hear you, man. I hear you, Bruce Jackstone. You're a good man. But computers are a way of life. And digital comics help the self-publisher get the books out there. Because as an artist, writer, musician, performer, creator, you want people to see your things. And digital makes it possible. Until you can save enough money to print it up. That's what I'm doing. So every link that I have here links to something. Links to eBay store, or links to my own website, artbaltazar.com, or it links to Threadless, or it links to Comixology. And all the money I make off of these links, it's fundage that I'm building up fundage so I could save the money to print the comic. And I'm going to be printing number 13 of all your comics very soon. Hopefully, in these trying times, the conventions will start up again, and we will see each other face to face in all due time. But time is what we have plenty of, according to the Terminator movies. You just go back and change stuff. You could go back, you could go forward. But you know what? They were always running, but they never need to stop and eat. The first movie they did, Sarah Connor, they had to get a hotel room, they had to sleep. That's where they did their thing to create John Connor. Yeah. But we will continue to persevere. So make your own comics. Swig for making your own comics. So digital, yes, embrace digital. It's not the end all be all, but it does help you. Digital does help you. Kevin Bixby says, famous cartoonist says things, famous cartoonist draws things. Oh, yeah. It's true. It's all a true story. And Sergio is here. Oh, yeah. What's up, Sergio? D. Brad says, I'm going to buy a digital comic with Webster tomorrow. Oh, thanks, D. Brad. Yeah, man, it shows up. I got the notice. The 28th, it's Wednesday. It's coming out tomorrow. I think, I'm going to look right now. I think Aya Comics number 14 might be up there. I'm going to tell you right now if it is. It is. Number 14 is up there too. That's another new book. Issue 14 of Aya Comics. Looks like nobody has read it yet. I don't know. But I don't have a review. I'm going to link it right now to, I'm going to put it right on this stream. See if I could. I could. I never did this before. There's the link. That's the link to Aya Comics 14. I linked it everywhere. It's linked all over the place. All of a sudden, they got linked everywhere. And I'm also going to link it here on my Facebook. You're going to see me do it. I'm doing it right now. I'm not even going to put a description. I just linked it. I linked it on my Facebook page. Let's see. Let's see what Sergio's saying. At school, we were playing charades, and I blindly guessed Hot Alien Love Rocket and laughed my head off. Was that the real? Was that the answer? That'd be even more funny. That was the answer. Hot Alien Love Rocket. Now changed to Big Alien Moon Crush. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks, Art. Thanks, D. Brad. You are awesome. And oh yeah, Webster. Yeah, man, Webster shows up tomorrow. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy with Webster the Spider Monkey. It's the first, not his first appearance. He first appeared in Dark Horse trade issue, I think volume 3 trade. But he's been a reoccurring character in the pages of Oh Yeah Comics. And he will be in Oh Yeah Comics number 14, issue 14. He's in issue 14 with the rest of the Oh Yeah crew. And now he gets his own book. And his own book is kind of an origin story, too. And same with the Gyroman book, that's also an origin story. So it's kind of fun. I introduced them to the Oh Yeah universe. So Webster's in there, and you're going to like it. And it's the first part of, I got a four mini stories issue that's going to make up the first volume. So he fights Dr. Octoplatypus, he fights Rhinoceros Jack, and he fights some ninjas. And so I have a whole bunch of characters that he's going to fight. He's going to fight the Shizlard. That's a shark and lizard mix. He's going to fight a whole bunch of characters. It's going to be really cool. And I'm having a great time with it. I'm not sure how many issues it's going to be, but I know for sure it's going to have one big volume. It's going to be a 48-pager when I'm all done with the first volume. I'm going to print it up. That'll be real cool. And I can't wait, man. I can't wait. Sergio says, do you scan papers in Gilbert? Because when I see you drawing him, the paper looks very rough. Oh yeah, what I did was I scanned the comic book page and put it in the Gilbert digital page, so all my lines are even for all of my comics. So I draw in the proportions of the DC Comics comic book board, and so it looks like I'm drawing on paper. So that's what I did. That's what I did with Gyroman too. Gyroman, you can see the paper. I scanned the paper and put it in there. But I draw Gilbert like that. In Gilbert Volume 3, I'm going to be starting really soon. I got to start it in November. So I'm starting to write it right now. And it's going to be real fun. There's a shark guy in it. And last night on Star Wars, Clone Wars, I saw they had a shark guy. But his name was like Riff Tannen. But I don't know what my guy's name is. So far, it's Chucky Sharkles. But I don't know if that's going to be his name. I like Sharkles. Maybe Jaws. Jaws something. Jaws. I don't know. I don't know. It's got to be a spoof of something. And he says, oh, yeah, paper. Oh, yeah, digital. Yeah, do it all. Use it all to embrace. It all becomes part of the same thing. You use it as a tool. Anything that you could use to create your own comic books is the best thing ever. Swig for making your own books. I did that again, but it deserves another swig. And in issue 4, book 4 of Gilbert, the island of orange turtles, there is a purple turtle on the island of orange turtles. But I'm not going to tell you why. I'm not going to tell you why, because it's part of the story. But last night, after watching Star Wars, the Clone Wars, they had an underwater thing with the Mon Calamaris, and they had ships that look like jellyfish. So now I want to add a jellyfish and a squid. There's probably going to be a squid in volume 4 of Gilbert. I wanted to put a whale. I want to put something big. So maybe the squid, because I always look for things that's going to change the color of the background. Because in Gilbert, everything's blue because he's in underwater. So in the first volume, I think it was blue. Second volume, there was a lot of, I think there was yellows. No, there was a lot of grays and purples. And then in the last one, there's a lot of red. So this one, I'm thinking about adding a squid so it can spray squid ink and get everything dark and sticky. I think that would be funny. But they go to the surface in the new one. So there's a lot of yellow sky and stuff. But it would be fun. I like to have each book have its own color theme instead of all being blue, because then you don't know which book you're reading. Because they all start blue because they're underwater. But I have this next volume starts where Gilbert's eating cereal. He's eating breakfast at home. So it'll be a lot of fun. But I will see you guys again. I will do this again. I enjoy doing this. This is my time to work. I did one page. I'm gonna, like every day, I wake up, I have coffee, I do the show, I have a quick snack to get some energy, and then after the show, I eat lunch, and then I get back to work for a little bit. But then I always have to take people places, and then I have to do things. Well, today I don't have to do anything. I have to give my son a ride to work, but then I'm back in 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna get back to drawing, and it's just how it goes. This is life. Life itself. Life is what you create it, what you make of it, and it is something. Let's see what's happening here. It's weird. A lot of people don't have school today. Someone caught COVID at my school, but luckily we're coming back tomorrow. It's awesome that you're live. All you famous cartoons. Thanks, man. Yeah, you gotta watch. Don't get sick. Protect yourself. Wear your mask. Wear your gloves. Whatever you gotta do. But yeah, these trying times are making us adapt very well. And you don't get sick if you stay home and draw. Stay home and draw, don't go out. And even Kevin Bixby agrees. Because you're a good man, sir. And Deep Brad says, adios. Good to see you, Deep Brad. Good to see you, Bixby. Good to see you, Sergio. Good to see you, Dorothy. Dorothy was here today. Eric Holtgren was here. I'm like the magic mirror. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. This was really cool. I like doing this. I will do this again tomorrow at noon. And ever since I've been doing this, I've been slaying the vampire. I set the alarm clock every day now. Even though sometimes I wake up before, but most days it wakes me up because I still have that nighttime vampire who leans on me and says, keep going, keep going. And I don't go to sleep until about 2 or 3 in the morning. So I need that alarm. Bing. It goes, It wakes me up. I do my thing. But I'm here for you. And I like doing this. And I will be back again tomorrow at noon. And Friday is the Halloween show here on Famous Cartoonist Says Things. So I'm going to wear something special for you. So make sure you bring your costume on Friday because we're all going to be watching each other. I'm going to pretend like I'm watching you, but I'm going to be talking to you. And it'd be better if you're wearing a suit. Let's see. There's one more comment. Let's see. I got awesome to see you, man. Oh, yeah, comments. Woohoo! That's right. On that note, that was a great way to end. That was a great way to, a great send-off. And I will do this again tomorrow. In the meantime, there's 3 things. You know the 3 things. Say them with me. No fighting. No crying. Be nice to each other. And wake up and do the things that make you happy. That's it. It's real simple to do. See you next time. You guys are awesome. Okay, bye-bye.